I'm Simon Dewsbury, PGA staff professional here at Belmont Country Club. In today's video we're going to look at warm-up routines and what we can do if we've only got a limited time before we actually tee off. So we're going to look at what we can do in terms of putting drills to get a feel for the speed of the greens before we actually get to the first tee. Let's go. Okay, now it doesn't matter whether we've had 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or even if we've only just got a few minutes to go before we get to the first tee. This realistically is where we really want to focus. We want to make sure that we're dialing in our pace for our feel for the speed of the greens. So whether we have plenty of time, we can go through the stretching exercises and we can hit some balls to loosen the body up or not, that's fine. But this area realistically on the putting green is going to be the most important part for us. Now I personally like to start off at around about 10-12 feet away from the hole, and all I'm trying to feel here is going to be try and get my speed for the greens first of all. So you can probably see or feel, at least with the wind, with the leaves blowing past, it's a little windy today, so my stance width is going to be a little wider. So this is something that I want to key in every single time, make sure that my stance width is the same for the rest of the day. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to gauge the size of my putting stroke based around the width of my feet. So that one's a little short, so I've got to make sure that my backswing is a little wide, a little longer. And there's my pace sorted out. So now what I'm going to do is just with these last three, make sure my stance width is the same, my backswing is the same size, and now I can start to focus on dialing in my direction a little bit as well. But focusing every single one on making sure that that backstroke is the same length every time. So my stance width the same, my ball position the same, and my size of backswing the same every single time. So if I'm comfortable with those, we'll move a little further away to about 20 feet and go through that same routine. Not focus too much on the direction right now because I'm never going to be a million miles left or right of the hole, but my distance control is important. So same stance width still as I've just had with the shorter putts, same ball position, and now slightly bigger backstroke again. And although that one's gone in, that was probably racing a little bit too fast for what I would really like pace wise. So just dial the size of the backstroke in a little bit. So I'm controlling my distances, and that one finished just a little short. So there are my two extremes, short and probably a little bit long. And I've always been one to have the ball dying in the front edge of the hole, so that's about the right pace for me. Although personally I think probably a little bit longer to finish, maybe a foot or so past. So I've got an idea now on how big my backstroke needs to be from 10 to 12 feet, how far I need to be from about 20 feet in order to get my distance control. Then it's just about reading the greens and holing 3 or 4 short ones from around different positions. So I've got a little right to left, little left to right, uphill, downhill putts. But again, same width of stance, same ball position. And all I'm trying to do with these now is just give myself a little bit of confidence, knowing that I've got the ability to hold the short one, so my lag putts don't have to finish stone dead. They can finish 2.5, 3 feet away from the hole, and I can get those in. And that is all I need to do if I'm in a rush. If I've got a little bit longer, I might be tempted to stretch that out and go to 30 feet, so I've got really good lag puts, and dial that distance in as well. If you do have a couple of extra minutes, change direction so you've got the long puts from a slightly different angle. But again, we're focusing not so much on the direction, we're just looking at generalized direction, but it's a feel for the speed of the greens. This one now, a little bit downhill, a little bit wind behind. I'm going to see how that's going to affect how much my distance control needs to be. So the same length backswing that time as the previous one, going slightly into the wind, and we can see that's carried the ball off. So same stance width, same ball position, and this time I can bring the backswing shorter, and we can see how the wind just keeps pushing that one down. Now I'm beginning to dial in my distance. The last couple, I want to try and replicate that, get them to finish as close to the third ball as I can do. Without trying to play snooker or pool. Got a little excited on that one. So those two, the third and the fifth one, have finished a little short. I've got a really good idea now on the size of my backswing for the downhill, downwind putts. I've also got an idea coming into the breeze a little bit, what that difference is. And realistically, about the same distance of putt, but it was about the difference of about a putter width from leading edge to back edge in terms of where my backstroke went. So I was maybe with the leading edge of the putter level with the middle of my toes as I was coming with the wind, but coming into the wind I needed to go that extra 3 inches back in order to help push the ball through the wind, as it was forcing the ball to slow down a little earlier than I would have expected it. So those are the little keys that we use just to give us an idea as to how to control the speed downhill, uphill, into or with the wind. And then we just focus on those short putts so that we can finish off with a little bit of confidence, knowing that we can hold the short ones before we walk to the tee. So once we've dialed in the longer putts, we just want to spend a couple of minutes on putts that are around about a putter length in distance away from the hole. So again, my longer putts don't have to finish stone dead. I give myself a decent radius to finish inside with those for my lag putts. And then if I can just make sure, again, my stance width, my ball position are the same, and I can get a few of these rolled into the hole. This is just going to build my confidence that my short putts are good. And that's all I need to do. I don't want to spend too long on it. Eventually you probably end up missing one, which is going to knock your confidence. So you only want to have 4 or 5 that we're knocking the ball into the hole from, like I said, about a putter length away from the hole in a little circle, so we get uphill, downhill, right to left and left to right putts. But that gives me the confidence to know that on my longer putts I don't have to get the ball stone dead to guarantee a tap in. I've got the ability from 3, maybe stretch out a little more to 4 feet, the ability to hold that second putt, and that takes pressure off my long putts. I don't have to be really accurate with my distance control. I can be just a little short or a little long if I'm not perfectly reading the elevation change from uphill or downhill putts. As I said, you're never going to realistically be a huge amount left or right of the hole, but short or long is usually where we fail. So we don't get the speed of the greens usually. So focusing just for a couple of minutes around the edges of the hole with those short putts is going to build the confidence, but no more than 4 or 5 minutes on the putting green before we go out to play, because all we're trying to do is feel the speed of the greens, hold the short putts, get some confidence, and then walk away and go to the first tee. We spend too long on here, you're going to start focusing on and thinking about body mechanics and what the putter itself is doing, and that's taken away from what we realistically want before we go to play. Once we finish playing, that would be when we come back to the green to work on mechanics and get rid of problems that we've had out on the golf course. But before we go to play, we just want to keep it nice and simple. It's feel for our pace for our longer putts and the confidence builder with the short ones, and then walk to the tee. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you've got any comments, leave them down below. Any suggestions for future videos as well, we really appreciate the input.